Hello everybody and welcome to a very rainy Charleroi. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I thought it was pronounced Charleroi until yesterday. But yes, today we're in Charleroi, the supposed ugliest city in Europe and potentially the ugliest city in the world. I've actually wanted to come here for a few years. Don't ask why. I don't know why. This has been on my list for maybe 2 or 3 years or so. I've always wanted to come here. When people say a place is bad, ugly, it just makes you want to visit it more. It's like growing up when someone tells you not to do something, you want to do it. People tell you not to come here. I've had to explain to people that I'm going on holiday to the ugliest city in Europe, and I can't lie, first impressions are not great. This is what we're looking at right now. Just looks like any standard European city, if I'm honest, right now. But you know, first impressions haven't been great. You come out of the airport and immediately you're met with the loudest construction you've ever heard. And then I got in a taxi, to which then the taxi driver didn't say a word to me, and then he got out of the car at one point and went to fight someone. So then he charged me 35 euros for a 10-minute taxi. So yeah, I know people are thinking, why would you pay that? After seeing him going to fight someone, you know, he's not exactly the person I wanted to challenge on prices, you know? He was like, you know what, have my 35 euros, just please don't fight me. But just to show you all around me, yeah. Immediately, you're met with this building. Look at the windows on that. I feel like someone has not opened a window there in about 100 years. That's what I imagine would happen. That's what I imagine would happen to windows if he hotboxed every single room and never opened the windows ever again. And then over there, we've got a horrible stonish building with yellow windows. Whoever decided to put yellow windows on that needs sacked. So this is the centre of Charleroi, and this is the central station, and this is, you know, it doesn't look that bad apart from, you know, the older buildings. It doesn't look awful, especially from what I've seen from pictures. It seems like even a couple years ago this was just completely under construction, whereas this all looks relatively new. So I'm going to guess that's what's happened here. It's all been built up in the last couple of years, so maybe someone is actually doing something about this proclaimed ugliest city in the world. Do zebra crossings work in Europe? One way to find out. Normally they don't, normally they just hit you. So we're going to try and see as much as Charleroi today as possible. I hope it doesn't rain all day. I'm going to have to buy a cap, otherwise I'm going to look like a Labradoodle that's been drowned. I think there's going to be a lot of walking today, because, you know, I tried to get an Uber at the airport. It's not a thing here. I asked the hotel receptionist. She said Uber isn't a thing here. You have to get buses and trains. Is this the 1800s? People often describe Charleroi as a city that looks like it's been stuck in the 1900s, and you can see why. So over there you can see the start of all these abandoned factories which gained this reputation for this place. So it's kind of the same as most industrial cities, where they have loads of factories, and then when industrialisation quiets down, they get left abandoned, and then it becomes a shithole. So as we slowly walk down this river, you'll start to see it's slowly becoming more of a shithole, and you'll see why it's garnered this reputation as the ugliest city in Europe. Because, you know, I'm at a distance and I can already see it's quite an eyesore. Okay, so now we're actually approaching one of the most famous abandoned factories in the whole of Charleroi, and it's right there. And my god, it's massive. I'm not even disgusted by it. I'm kind of like, wow, that's big. That's what she said. No, she never said that. But it is just impressively humongous. I mean, you can see why people say it's an eyesore, because it's not exactly easy to ignore, is it? And just to my right here as well, just this absolutely massive, I don't even know what that is. I'm sure someone will like me in the comments. It's just a huge shed almost, just full of compost, and a huge crane. God, this is, now you can see why it's starting to get ugly. And I know you're thinking, Lewis, you've probably walked 20 miles outside the city centre. No, I've been walking for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and this is where we are, out of, you know, a city centre just south of Brussels. This is where we are. It's absolutely insane. And I can imagine the further we get, the progressively more, just worse and worse it gets. You know, if this is what the city centre looks like, what does the rest of it look like? Just seeing the actual grand scale of this thing, it's immense. And this is just one Just one of the factories. My God. And now you can see, just all around us, it's just no modernisation whatsoever. It could be that hill actually, or one of the others, where there's a very famous picture overlooking this power plant, and that's the photo that went viral saying that this is the ugliest city in Europe. Charleroi has been called many things: the ugliest city in Europe, the ugliest city in the world, the most depressing city in Europe. And you know, it's up to you. It's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I can imagine this would be an urban explorer's dream. This would be their wet dream, just this. Look, imagine being able to explore that thing. I tell you what, it'd be a good game of hide and seek, I'll tell you that. Surely there's no fish that live in this river. If so, they've got to be radioactive at least. I love these wee boards. Is there anything interesting? Something Mafia. The Charleroi Adventure City. Sorry, the Charleroi Adventure City. And that sign has been absolutely destroyed. Jesus. I mean, you can see why no one comes down this, but what is it? This would be good for, it'd be good for a 5k run maybe. And you can hear in the distance there is still some factories operating, but the majority of these are just abandoned. There you go. You can see everywhere people are just breaking in. To be fair, I could fit down that. Look at this. You would think that this is a World War II barracks. It looks like it's been bombed. My God. You would not think this is, you know, just south of one of the richest cities in the whole of Europe. Didn't plan on swimming today, but apparently that's non-negotiable. Should have brought my wellies today, but here we are. There's another abandoned factory right there. Wow. I just hope we're able to, you know, get deeper into this and we can actually see what this is all about. So here you go, just one of the many abandoned factories right here in the city centre. That's the city centre just there, and this is abandoned factories just right next to it. So you can see why people just say this is a complete industrial wasteland. It's insane. Everywhere you look around you, it's just a shithole. There's no other way to put it, really. I definitely chose the wrong day to wear cream trousers and white trainers. So now we're actually getting some more factories, and you can see this giant power plant here, which is just huge. I feel like all I'm doing in this video is complimenting things and telling them that they're big. I wish someone would do that to me. And just look at all this just scrap metal just left here. You know, there's someone's cooker, there's someone's car. It's just, ugh. I know I've said it before, but you just wouldn't believe this is a city in one of the richest, you know, parts of Belgium. So when I told my friends and family that I was going to make a travel channel, they probably thought, wow, he's going to go to the Bahamas, he's going to go to Dubai. No, I am here in Charleroi, just in front of a big power station. Now, I was approaching this for ages thinking that was a footbridge from a distance. No, it is, I mean, it can be a bridge if you're good at monkey bars, I guess. But no, we are just going to keep on walking. I've took the proclaimers quite literally, and I am walking 500 miles more. It just never ends. You'd assume that this would maybe be like a strip, but it's not. It just keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. When do these factories end? I feel like this is one of the videos where I don't really need to say much. It's just, you know, every time I'm speaking to the camera, I'm just like, oh, look at this ugly thing over here. Oh, look at this ugly thing. It's just, there's nothing else to say really. It's just hideous. You know, I've purposely came to the ugly city in Europe, perhaps the world, and I'm sitting here surprised, being like, oh, it's ugly. Yes, it certainly is. Even the metro, where the train goes, even that bit's hideous. Oh, I have no idea who was in charge of the architecture here. It's like when you make a Minecraft base for the first time and it's really bad, but you're like, ah, we're too deep now, so we'll just stick with this world. Although that is some nice graffiti over there, just saying, Charleroi. Yeah, that's very cool. That's the nicest part I've seen so far. I don't think it's helping the fact that it's also an awful day as well. So I'm literally seeing this city at its absolute worst Not even on a hot summer's day, I get to see it in the gloomy skies and the pouring rain. And how else would you want to see the ugliest city in the world, you know? And then over there in the distance, if you can see, it's almost like they've made a transformer type thing with spare parts. Which I guess that's quite cool. It's like owning what the city is, which is a shithole. But yeah, let me see if I can get that for you. Don't know what's supposed to be. It looks like Mickey Mouse if he was a transformer. At least it's a good thing that some of these factories are still being used, as you can hear them in the background. Because I was fearful that it's just completely left abandoned and just for no good reason, but at least some of them are getting use, so it's not completely a pointless industrial wasteland. It's an industrial wasteland that gets used sometimes. That's your mum when she sees me. I'm starting to think, and I'm sure a lot of you are also starting to think, does Charleroi have any redeemable factors? Is there anything good about this place? It's just dirty river, shitty factories, shitty weather. God. You know, I haven't visited the most places in the world, but normally when you go on holiday, people ask you, oh, would you go back? As it stands, no. No, I would not get back. So far, the best part has been the airport. And the airport charged me €1 to go for a pee. So that says quite a lot. Okay, now it's seeming like we're coming to the end of the factories. It's starting to come into a bit more of civilization. Finally. I say civilization, that's an abandoned building, but still, compared to there, that is civilization. It's random trash for no reason. Just cans, beer, shoes. Free shoes if anyone wants them. Wow. I know I've said it a million times in this video, but you would not think that this is in Belgium. This is the sort of stuff that you'd expect in Chernobyl, but we're not in Chernobyl. We're just south of Brussels in Charleroi. I also don't know what's in worse condition right now. This city or my hair, my god. And there we go, seeing cars for the first time in a long time. So now we're going to head to somewhere that made me want to come to this place in the first place. I've seen the pictures of it, and if it looks anything like the pictures, we're in for a treat. How has a dog managed to shit there? If anything, that is quite talented. It's incredible how this has just become a, you know, a complete dumpster tip. Complete dumpster tip. Just everywhere you go, it's just this. You know, I was expecting these abandoned factories, but my god, I was not expecting rubbish just absolutely everywhere. This is insanity. It's just sad really, because this is, you know, factories getting abandoned, businesses shut down, you can't really help much of that, but just littering everywhere, it just is. And that's the nicest part we've seen so far. That church that looks relatively new and very modern and very nice. It's the only nice thing I've seen since coming here. I've never been so happy to see something more in my life. I do love this about Europe, and a lot of European cities, they just have these everywhere. It's great. So I'm trying to do it. This vehicle's battery's empty. Great. Is anything not abandoned here? We're trying this bike now. This is called Pony Bikes. The other two didn't work, they're dead. But this one, Pony Bikes, please. This pony's yours. It's your first ride. Oh, you can say that again. There we go guys, I'm on my pony. This is really hard, by the way. I'm definitely going to put the GoPro down, otherwise I might die. I'll finish the rest of this journey and I'll see you once we're there. Bye bye. Wow, look at that transition. So we're here now, kind of. But only in Charleroi would you see a football pitch right next to a big power plant. And that power plant is where we're heading, my friends. So let's go and have a wee look. So one of the reasons why I always wanted to come here was because of this. Size of that. We definitely need a counter on how many times I've complimented the size of things. But this is absolutely ginormous. It doesn't even fit in the frame. And I've seen the pictures of what it looks like from the inside, and wow. So there's the entrance, but the stairs have came crumbling down. I'm going to imagine that was on purpose. I hope there's a way I can get in, because I'd be kind of gutted if I can't go in. I've been looking forward to getting in that somehow. I'm guessing that has 100% been done on purpose to stop people coming in, which is a shame, you know. When you see the pictures of it, and I'll add some pictures into it, it looks magnificent. There you go, into the abyss. So I'm reading online and someone was like, did they fix the entrance? And someone was like, no, you have to climb inside regardless. Okay. I did not expect to be doing this today. Plenty of beer, plenty of gas canisters. People definitely come here too to drink. That's something I did read about, all these abandoned factories. Apparently they're used a lot of the time for illegal raves. And there you go, so I have to apparently climb up that. So I'll see you once I've climbed up it, if I do not die. So I got about halfway up it, then realised I'm scared of heights and came back down. But as you can see, there it is. And I'll put some pictures on the screen. I wish I could go up, but I just don't trust it. It's raining, it's slippery. It just seemed too much of a health hazard to, you know, die whilst climbing this. Sorry to be that guy. I was just genuinely like, I am slipping. I mean, even the bit that supports my feet there, it was there to help you get a foot up, and then it slipped and fell. So I was like, okay, this is a bit scary. I'm going to just come down and save my life for today. I've got my camera in my bag, but just to show you, this is what I've been having to drive through on this. It is an absolute nightmare. So I just bumped into a lady and she was talking to me, and she was saying that I need to be careful here because apparently she was saying that there's no jobs here, everyone's homeless, everyone's taking drugs, everyone's alcoholics. She was explaining to me, and this was completely unprompted, I wasn't even asking her questions, I only asked, oh, so have you lived here a long time? And she said she's lived here for 20 years. She was saying that people come specifically here just to claim benefits checks. How true that is, I don't know. I would have been more inclined to believe her if she didn't follow up this conversation with saying, are you vaccinated? To which I said yes. And she said that that means that Antichrist will be able to control me and that he's coming within the next 7 years. Okay guys, so now we're on Rue de Mont, and this was actually voted the most depressing street in the whole of Belgium. This street right here. So, to be fair, this is not somewhere that I've not seen in England. I can't lie, I've been the first to call this place a shithole, but this street isn't much different than I've seen in Hull or Sunderland or Middlesbrough. What a funny looking petrol station. I don't know if it's just a European thing, but I've never seen a petrol station without a reception, a kiosk, without an actual person there. But yeah guys, here we go. The most depressing street in Belgium. I would argue that that street we were on before, the one that goes by the river, I felt like that was far more depressing than this. There's at least some noises here. There's at least, you know, car shops. There's at least something here. Yeah, you've got all them big factories, but if anything, it kind of adds a bit of ambience, no? I'm struggling to see how this is the most depressing street in the whole of Belgium. When I was doing my research, someone was like, you have to come see Rue de Mont. There was a whole article about how you can't come to Charleroi and not see Rue de Mont. Well, I'm here. I don't really know what I'm supposed to see, if I'm honest. I don't know if this makes sense, but I have never, ever been so deflated by a place before. Like, I feel like if you sent someone with really bad mental health here, it would just tip them over the edge. I feel like this is the final straw for a lot of people. I feel like any life I have, I can almost feel it being sucked out of me. Let's cross the road. So we've got some abandoned buildings here as well, with the staircase going up to it. Let's see if we can actually go see anything. God, the weather really hasn't helped Charleroi. So if Charleroi ever did want to impress me, the weather certainly didn't help him. So obviously someone has been using this to sleep in. I'll respect them in case they still are staying here. But yeah. Wow. Oh God, mind a step. So obviously people are using places like these to come and drink at night. It seems the only use for all these places. Homeless and underage drinking. That's what all these abandoned factories are for. Do you know when you go on holiday and then after maybe about 2 weeks you're like, you know what, I'm ready to go home now. I felt like that after about 30 minutes. The second I left that hotel and we hit the river, I was like, I want to go home now. I am not enjoying myself. It's just like, what more can you say apart from just, ew. Apart from just exploring, I've literally not enjoyed a single part of this. Like I said, I've always wanted to come here, but there's just nothing that I'm just like, there's not even a single thing that I can give this place credit for. Not a single thing. I'll go out for a meal tonight and maybe I'll get some good food. Who knows? Another weird thing, I just feel like I haven't seen colours in a long time. Like everything is just the same orangey, yellow, brown, red colour. I've just not seen anything of any colour other than them. It's just so dull. It's just so dull. And you know, as people say, depressing. It's just simply the most depressing city in the ugliest city I've ever been to. But I'm not going to sit there and pretend the UK is all perfect, because like I said, this is some of the stuff I've seen here is not nothing I've not seen, you know, in Middlesbrough, for example. And there we go, there's the abandoned coal factory again. It really reminds me of Modern Warfare 2 Rust. Now, I'm going to try and see if it's possible to check in early to my hotel, you know. Wow, what a day this has been. In my hotel room, it's alright. If I'm honest, I'm just happy to not be outside. There's a view, which is actually, it's actually quite a nice view if you don't look left or right. But yeah, I'm gonna get these clothes because I'm wet, cold, and a bit sad. So now we're actually in the city centre of Charleroi. And dare I say it, it's quite nice. So obviously the outskirts of Charleroi, I know I'm mispronouncing it. So of course, as we've seen, the outskirts of this city are indeed a shithole. But the city centre itself looks alright. Looks to be like some nice restaurants, some nice cafes. And once again, the city centre is definitely a lot better, more developed than I've seen a lot of UK cities. I think it's just such a shame that the outskirts make such a bad impact on this place. Like the outside of the city is so shit that it weighs down the rest. No matter how good this city centre is, it will always be wank because of the outside. So let me show you what the real Charleroi looks like, should I say. I could absolutely murder someone right now. Not a person, food is what I mean. I didn't want to be one of them travel vloggers that only goes to the bad parts and I go, look how bad it is guys, because, you know, look at this. It's alright. When you're right in the city centre, which granted isn't big at all, it's very small. Very small. I'd say the bad part is bigger than the, you know, the city centre. Once again, probably why it gained such a reputation, because of just how much, you know, shit is there. I just went and grabbed food at a lovely place called Huggies. I'll put it on screen. It was genuinely lovely. One of the best meals I've had in a long, long time. And now, as you can see, the city centre is actually not that bad, but it is still quite a bit depressing. As you can see, the weather has not changed. In fact, it's just got heavier. There's a lot of homeless and drug addicts kind of everywhere, especially in Europe. But I have noticed here, even in this small city, there is quite a lot. And there has been 2 occasions where I've been walking down the street with a camera and I've clocked someone walk past me, see the camera, then turn back and follow me. So there is a few dodgy looking people around here, but that's the same with anywhere. Or maybe they just wanted my number, who knows. Also, after my meal I went to the shop to get some food, to which the lady asked to see inside my bag as if I've been stealing. I have spent a day here, but I think that's my limit. And I think it's safe to say, out of everywhere I've travelled in the world, I don't think I'll be back. But regardless, I do think it's something that everyone should try. At least come here and see what you think of it. Maybe not bring your partner, come alone. But yeah, Charleroi, signing off. I don't know why I said signing off, that was a bit weird.